similar to what we've had in the past. I will introduce, or to get each government agency here to introduce themselves and what they do. So you have an idea as the public, you can ask questions and to see if we then can get the answers. If we can't get the answers, they'll be taken down and we can get back to you with the answers for what they are here. Now, I'm not too sure how many agencies we've got here. We'll try and keep it as short as we can, but I've asked some of the government agencies, and I'll ask them now, could you stay back, all the people who are working in the field here, could you stay back and have a one-on-one with some of the people who may not want to ask the questions, or these sort of personalised questions, rather than in the public here. As I said, I've introduced myself. We also have our GM, Peter Bascom, who is with us as well as other staff members. The session here is live streamed, I believe. Is that right, Nathan? You're up there, tech guy here on my left here. So I'll just warn you about it if you don't want to be on it. You'll probably have to. Yeah. By being here, you're given your consent that you're going to be live streamed for this meeting, or this information centre. It's not a meeting. I call it information centre. So with that to do, if you don't mind, I'll sit down and I will ask if we can start with my left and go round with the government agencies, who they are, the name, and what they can do. If that's okay. Can I start? Who's the first one on my left?
Look, I'm with this crowd here.
You're with that crowd there, right?
I can speak for me.
Okay.
I just want a beer.
Huh?
I just want a beer over the counter.
Well, no, you've got a beer here.
We're two different sections of one department. So Sam's going to speak first and then I'll speak.
Okay.
I'm the left arm and she's the left
Well, right.
So Sam, apologies, I think the smoke's finally got to me, so I've got a bit of a stuffy voice. Like probably many of us here, the smoke has been around for a long time. So I'm Sam from the Office of Emergency Management. Typically you wouldn't really hear from us, which is usually a good thing. We're the office that has a somewhat behind the scenes role to organise the recovery structures to make sure that we are coordinating all the services to make sure things are flowing and we are aware of the emerging issues and needs that people are having. So in this area we have a series of recovery committees and subcommittees to look at particular areas around health and wellbeing, animal and ag, business and tourism, and waste and infrastructure. So just so you know that these sort of conversations are happening and we're trying to coordinate services to be distributed to the area. So the office overlooks across New South Wales, so these fires have been burning since September, in some cases even earlier, and obviously they're still burning today. So we sort of are acutely aware of what's happening all across the state, trying to coordinate with what kind of funding channels can be released and that sort of thing. So I'll be here all day, all afternoon, come and talk to me about basically anything, and I'm sort of plugged into a few things. But I'll pass on to our other arm, which
Okay. My name's Susan and this is Jude over here. And we've come from Tumut this morning and it was very smoky but we got here, which was great. We're Disaster Welfare Services from the Office of Emergency Management, and we're the other arm of this department that actually assists people who are not insured. So if you know of anybody who is not insured and they need some assistance, we're also here with information for people who are insured about clean-up and those types of things, and anything to do with these actual fires. So we're staying too for a while, and if anybody needs to, we've got some information here that actually tells you about our program, and also we've got another sheet that actually gives you all of the numbers for all of the assistance that you can get for clean-up and those types of things. So I'll be here and so will Jude, and we're wanting to share these bits of information with you, and we'll be around here if there's cases that we need to assist with. There'll be somebody from our department in these blue uniforms who will be here to assist. Thank you.
I'm Jen Kioski. I'm with the Rural Adversity Mental Health Program, or RAMP. We're New South Wales Health, and we normally come in the recovery phase and we work with individuals as well as workplaces and whole communities. I'm here to provide information about what services are available from a mental health perspective. I've living on the Monero for the last 15 years. I now live down the coast, so I am familiar with local services and what's available locally. And like everyone else, I'm here for as long as you guys need me, and I'm happy to have one-on-one conversations, not just about yourself, but other people you might be worried about. That also includes children. So I'm more than happy to have those conversations, take questions, whatever's needed.
Danny Burns. I work as a Rural Resilience Officer with the New South Wales Department of Primary Industries. Our role is to link people up with assistance, be it both financial or emotional. Just take a little bit of time just to talk about some of the financial stuff that's been made available over the last month or so. There's some grants available at the moment for both small business and primary producers. I know that's what people are looking for. More than happy to talk to anyone on one basis when we finish here. I'd also like people to know that at the moment we're trying to push people into going through seeing real financial counsellors, and in Bega at the moment they've actually got 2 people working out of that office at the moment. So there's a good chance to get in there and talk to people that have to access the services that are available. So
You can also access them in Coomera.
yeah, I have an assistance guide over on the front counter. This is all changing rapidly, and I've got to apologise. I printed up one yesterday that was the most up-to-date one, and I've actually grabbed the wrong one out of my car this morning. I've got one here that's not quite up to date, but it's still got in there, and my number and everything is in there. And I can, so, thank you.
Could we ask questions now or at the end?
At the end, I thought we'd introduce, so you know who's here, and then we can ask the questions. You're going to fire them to who you want to fire them to. Who's the next?
Michael Treamy, I'm the officer in charge of the police here at Coomera area, and I'm also the local emergency management officer of the Reeve, so I control the emergency response for what's happening in our community at the moment.
Okay. Right.
Hi, my name's Nancy. I work at Coomera Mental Health. We're part of New South Wales Health. We've been working every weekend because the intake line, a lot of people are from Bega, they've lost their home, so we're filling the slack. We've been working on the weekends and going every day that the evacuation center is open in Coomera to support people and staff there. I've got some information here, and also if you want, I'll stick around if you want to ask questions. So.
I'm Jennifer Nichols. I'm a volunteer with the Red Cross. Spent much of the last month in the evacuation centre in Coomera. We have $10,000 grants for people who have lost their primary place of residence, whether that's their owner-occupied or rented. I'm quite happy to discuss the application process with anyone and help them go through that later on today if you'd like. I'm also interested in any sort of concerns, feedback that you think we may be able to help with over the next weeks, months. Particularly I've had a connection to some people about some of the resources I've got for young children and families, helping children cope with the crisis. So please just come up and have a talk to me.
Going around the room by point percent, where else are we? Government agency or facilitator? Sorry.
Yeah, myself, I'm Jimmy Nichols.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. Jimmy Nichols from Essential Myself and Paula from Essential Energy in Coomera. Obviously, we're here with anything power related. Obviously, we've been having issues here before I go through for power. So, yeah, any questions you need in regards to that? Obviously, we're significantly stretched at the moment given what's happened down the coast. But we do have crews in Coomera, Jindabyne, and Bala that will be working all there.
We'll pause for a minute for the help us come out with the chairs. Get a few more years. more from the government agency that hasn't spoken yet or not? If there's not, we will probably, I'm here, as you know, as the mayor, but I've also got one of our councillors here, Ray, wave your head, I think it's the head, I think everyone knows you. I hope that everyone knows you. We have Sarah here, who is, we got our GM, Peter, would you like to say anything, Peter?
Just to acknowledge that we've still got active fires. This is not an ideal time for a meeting, we acknowledge that, but this is the first of several meetings that will be happening in this area and other areas. As the Mayor said, we've already had a couple of meetings. We have another one today down in Bombala for those that are affected by the Rockton fire, but there will be ongoing meetings and ongoing help. We are, if I comment, that often the model for recovery is incident and moving straight into recovery. We have more of a hybrid scenario at the moment where we have really active fires, but we've also had people that need assistance, hence we're starting, and that will continue. In terms of what we're doing internally to make sure that we have the resources to support people, I've appointed a local recovery officer, is Andrea to my right here. Andrea has a legal and insurance background. We've appointed an assistant recovery officer that will be working out of the Bombala office, and we'll be appointing a second recovery officer, assistant recovery officer that will work in this area, and we'll move on that way. And the role of the recovery officer is to assist you to access the grants, make sure you have the information so you can get access into all these government agencies, and don't forget that there is also the federal funding that is available under certain circumstances. There's a stream of about 4 streams of funding out of the federal sphere as well, including grants for rural and businesses. So rural properties and businesses. So that's happening. As I said, this is the first of several of these things. In Bombala, we had a meeting last week where a number of houses were lost. They don't have power, they don't have internet, they don't have things. So we've set up a point in Bombala where they can come in. We've set up computers and phones and so forth where they can come in and make access to that. And tomorrow we're having a session where the agencies will all be represented and they can talk one-on-one with those agencies, and we'll be doing something similar for here, for Adaminaby and the other areas around the traps. So we're ramping up. Yes, there will be more to come. Thank you.
Anne, would you like to introduce yourself? Because you're going to be in the hot seat for a minute.
Hello everyone, my name is Andrea Forsyth, as Peter introduced me. The local recovery officer role is a very broad one, but in a nutshell my role is to help facilitate the introductions to all the agencies that you need. And I'm really thankful of everyone that's been able to come along today. I encourage you all to take this opportunity to have a chat with them. Like the agencies, I also have an information sheet that people might find helpful. I've tried to make it as simple as possible because what's happening, as we heard, is things are changing very quickly and it's very confusing. What do I do? Where do I go? So I've just got a couple of central numbers that I'd like you to be aware of, which is why I have my sheet. But again, I'll be around. I really welcome chatting with you to see what I can do. Any major issues, obviously, please elevate them to me at the council. With Peter and also the team support that we're putting in, we're developing a structure so that you'll have a particular contact point for your area, which we think will be really helpful. So I am looking forward to hearing of your concerns, and thank you for coming along.
Okay. That comes, I don't think there's anyone else. If I have, please yell, shout, or do something. Right. Questions? Could you, if you ask the question, we'll try and allocate it back to the people who are here who can answer it. If we can't answer the question, we'll get no one here to answer it. We'll write it down and leave your number so we can contact you later with that answer. Who would like to kick the ball off first? Oh, right, here we go. And one at a time, too, please. Right.
The issue that I'd like to raise is the fact that many of us have been impacted by the fires now have water tanks full of black sludge and mud because we've been forced to pump from the source that's obviously contaminated. So what I'd like to ask is what support, what avenues might be available to have the tank cleaned out and refilled with not necessarily potable water, but water that we can have a shower, do some washing and just function.
I can answer that question. I'm lead water tank layer. We've been working with the army. We've been going there and cleaning tanks, and they've been putting 5,000 litres of potable water in the tank. So I spoke to Andrea, we've been coordinating it together. So I was just across the road cleaning a tank, so I thought I'd come and introduce myself, leave some cards, and then get back to work and try and clean some tanks.
What's the financial implications?
Say 25,000 litre tank would be about $350. That's cleaned, drained, scrubbed out, and we'll get some potable water put back in. Yeah.
Okay, is that...
Actually, Peter,
Sorry.
I've just experienced in Cooma
Yes.
having 2 of my downpipes full of soot.
Yep.
Right? I had to get a plumber.
Okay.
Right? Now, these will not come out until we get rain. Soot in your downpipes. Those pipes have to be taken off.
Yep.
The soot removed. I've got photos of it on my mobile if you want to see it. But it's not just the tanks, and I believe the council recommends that you chlorine the tank. Is that correct, Peter?
I cannot answer that one directly.
I have the document from the
Who do you want to talk to?
So the issue with the use of non-potable water is if you're going to use it for drinking, we've got guidelines on our website on how to chlorinate it. So it's not going to smell like a swimming pool, but it just gives you some surety that you can at least knock out some of the bugs that might be in there. Once water leaves a potable source like a council standpipe, it's not transported in a basically a stainless steel container. It can't be classed as potable when it's put into the tank. Certainly can for showering in the morning and all that sort of thing, it's fine. But for those of you that are living on untreated water, like I do, it's probably no different to what you've been doing. So your rainwater tank washes in with dust and birds on the roof and that sort of thing anyway. But it's always a good precaution to take to chlorinate it before you use it for domestic purposes.
On another note, chlorine won't have much of an effect on the ash at all because it's a mineral based, whereas your normal bacteria is biological. So the chlorine won't affect the ashy taste.
Yeah, so that's what's wrong.
Won't help, yeah.
Clean out, physically clean out the ash.
Yep.
Chlorination if you're worried about your consumption.
Hence we're having to drain a lot of tanks because of how bad they are.
Okay, so we've got people here, anyone else who's got tank problems, water problems like that, can reply to these questions. Now, the next lady, sorry, I don't know your name, but introduce yourself, you have your hand up for a question.
Barbara Ryan, I was just wondering about the water, with the getting it cleaned out and stuff like that.
Yep, I'll leave my card. After this, because I've got to get back to work, I'll try and clean as many tanks as we can.
Yep.
Give me a call and we'll work it out.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
All right, guys, and I won't take up any more time.
Can I just, with, one of the things that's happening, and I think everyone is probably aware, there's an ADF presence in the region who provide support for us, and they're fantastic, and they're working in with us in relation to the potable water. So what's happening is tanks are being cleaned, details are then going through to the ADF who are accessing our water pipes, council water pipes, and then providing some water to the people who've had their tanks cleaned. So it's a process that I have to be honest and say, it's only just started. It's a bit of a moving feast. We recognise that it's an issue. One of the things that I would like to do, and I hope I can give you visibility of it next week, is to set up some registers of what people need. At the moment, calls are coming into me, that's fine, perfectly happy to take them, but what I need to be able to give you is, here's the number to ring, here's the details to give, so that I can coordinate with the ADF and lead. So bear with me, we're working on it. We recognise that that's one of the big issues, but the ADF is very supportive and they're very cooperative in this task.
This was on that.
This question then you next.
Well, sorry, it's on water as well. We learnt the hard way as well that you do have to clean out all your down pipes, thoroughly disconnect them from your tanks so that new rain, if you get any, doesn't cause exactly the same problem because you've got to start all over again. The second thing is, so we've had that service, he's not here now, but they do a fantastic job and they sucked everything out. That's the good news. The bad news is the ash is so thick in most of the tanks, the sludge, the whole lot's got to come out. So suddenly we lost like 13,000 litres of water yesterday. That's the bad news. The good news is the Army did come in and they gave us 5,000 litres. My question is, 5,000 litres doesn't go very far, and that's potable water. So is there any plan to get any more water, or can we buy more water? That's the question.
I can answer the 5,000 per tank. We had a massive need, so we made the decision, rightly or wrongly, that we would try and give 5,000 to everyone first run, on the basis that we recognise that doesn't go very far. So there will be 7 runs planned, but we're trying to meet everybody's needs, and given the size of the tankers and their capacity to come in, we decided, or the Army recommended, that the 5,000 per household would be the best way to go. So I guess stay tuned. One of the issues which I actually can't answer, and we'll probably have to take it away and get some advice, with the ongoing fire activity, I hear your concerns. You get everything cleaned and then it comes back. So what's the best way to manage it? And I have to be honest and say I don't know, but I will do my best to find out.
Thank you.
Just want to make a comment. We had Lee clean out our tanks for us. He did a great job. And then that afternoon the Army showed up. They did an amazing job getting into our property close to the tanks. They're excellent drivers. And they have an information sheet which they hand out to you and get you to read through it, and which details, chlorination, use of bleach, things like that, before they actually fill it. So they did a tremendous job, so I'd just like to say thanks to the ADF.
Yes, exactly. Yes. They're very willing and they're here. They really want to help.
Question?
Just while we're on water tanks,
we'll continue with the water tanks and we'll get that one. If anyone has any more questions on water tanks.
has the council made any provision to dispose of melted water tanks? We've got tanks there that aren't worth too much, they're all melted, so we've got to try and get rid of them somehow.
I can't answer that one. I don't know whether, but I gather there's someone on my right taking those down. Thank you.
Recyclable, shouldn't they?
Yeah, you would think so. Any further questions on water and tanks?
Just if you've got enough water to carry on with, take the downpipes out of the tanks and let it run to waste. Okay, well, and I did that before we went away, before that ash fall came in, and we also capped the inlet of the tank. So if you've got enough water to go, keep on going, but take the downpipes out of the tank.
Any more questions?
Just one comment in relation to this subject. Where we still have active fires, we're reluctant to lose what dirty water we've got while that provides. So the coordination of this is critical. So it's cleaned out and water is placed immediately possible. So because we don't want to drain the tanks and be sitting there with fires still.
We got one more on water. Is anybody else on water? On tanks, sorry.
I just come out of the tank with the water tank, that's why I'm late. I watched it, looks like rainy, but it's a poly tank, so they're reasonably easy. But before we had after the Saturday, the Black Saturday, where we had all the thing, I cleaned the damn thing and I still had good drinking water, virtually full. Cleaned the inlet filter, washed the roof down, high pressure, spent 4 hours on top of the roof. And then we had a rain. And guess what? The filter, which is a bag, 10 micro, was absolutely blank. And unfortunately, I didn't take the gutter pipe off. And I only had it for about 15 minutes. Didn't actually rain well. and I took it out yesterday and it was pitch dark and we couldn't drink the water anymore. Now I'm just waiting for a refill. What I did is I washed it down and then I used carbonate, soda, washed it all, and then vinegar. Washed it down with vinegar and it's ready to fill now.
Do we have any more on the water tanks? It's pretty essential water to drink, isn't it? Is there any other, who else has got a question on another subject that we should raise?
You know my question, but I said.
Ah, yes.
Yes. We are in contact with Blaze Aid. I'm not sure if everyone knows how Blaze Aid works, so I'll give you the overview of how it works and then tell you where we're at with that. Council works with Blaze Aid to set up what we call a camp, and they're the individuals that work with Blaze Aid to come to your properties and help with fencing. So council organises with Blaze Aid the locations. From what we've identified, there's possibly 3 locations in the region, one over in the Bombala area, one here, and one over in the Adaminaby area. The dilemma that we've got, particularly here in Adaminaby, is the ongoing fire. So there is a need, it's been flagged to me by many people, and I've also flagged it with Blaze Aid, but one of the issues that we have is we probably need a safer environment before we can get people into the camp. So it's frustrating, I know, I hear you, I understand that people would like to get back to normal, but unfortunately we're living in extraordinary times where it's normal one day and then a spot fire comes up and the wind direction changes or the heat comes up and we've got a very different situation again. So it will happen, but I just have to say I'm sorry, bear with us because the conditions aren't right for us to get them in at the moment. And I do take RFS advice on that as well.
Can I just make a comment? I sort of started talking to them, you probably were under this Bertram, and as a result, the comment came back that because we're a good fire, we might be a bit too far away because it's voluntary, etc. Can you take that into consideration that there's a large area, and we're happy to give people our house, you know, because we're sort of community. But we need someone out there, you know.
I hear you. One of the things that Blaze Aid have asked me is could their camp be located within about a 40-minute drive?
It's too far.
But what we need to do, and this is where I talk to the Army, is become a little bit creative about how we set up a camp for them. What they need in their camp, obviously, they're camping there, so they need kitchen facilities, they need bathroom facilities. So if I can sort something with the Army, I'm sure they're going to be comfortable with that, but that's the rules.
Well, we can volunteer for that because it was disturbing that, you know, we're too far away.
I know. And I guess putting a Blaze Aid hat on, these people are volunteers. So the Blaze Aid organisation is looking after their volunteers as well. Hence them saying we need a safer fire ground and the travel distance. But if we can work something out creatively, and that's what we're all trying to do, then we might be able to get it working.
I'll just say this, we're very grateful for the assistance we got, so
yeah,
that's
fantastic.
important.
Yeah, they're really fantastic. And as I understand it from talking to them in New South Wales, normally they will set up 3 or 4 camps at a time. At the moment they have 22, which gives you an idea of the scale of what they're dealing with. So, yes.
Please refresh me, I'm not aware of Blaze Aid, is it? I've not heard it mentioned on ABC South East or anything. Please just refresh.
It's a volunteer organisation, and I'm not quite sure, I call them grey nomads, I don't know whether that's correct, but they're retired people who like to travel around and help. They have experience with fencing, so what happens is Blaze Aid is an organisation that has been set up to help people in this situation who've had their fencing affected through fire. So what happens is the council works with them to establish a campsite, and then these individuals, once they've received the information of which property and what's required, contact the owner and come out and repair the fence. Does that answer your question?
I'll just make a few comments about Blaze Aid. They're stretched thin, like as just been mentioned, there are 23 camps going across the state at the moment. They're short on resources. what typically happens is they go out, a team will go out, and in that team they've got one person, at least one person that actually has some really good knowledge around fencing. They have their own public liability, and they do a fantastic job. So it is the responsibility of the people where they're on the farm that they're going to supply the materials. So below they don't come in and put a fence up. You still need to have your own materials. So yeah.
And when I was contacted a couple of weeks ago about Blaze Age, the council had paid some funds to them to actually get them here, so that seems to be the deposit. So that's been in there. So I think it's, as you said earlier, it's just a matter of then when they get the resources, they can come back and do the work. There was a lady at the back had a hand up.
Oh, you were just talking about kitchen and toilet facilities, and like we have that here.
Oh, right.
And we have the campground and the tennis courts where the events set up for a couple of days. We do catering for the folk festival, so we're all very handy at that. We're doing it down at the high shoot now. So loads of men and women who are here.
I was just going to say that
The gentleman here now, please. And then the back.
helped us in the 2013 fire went through. They will help you take down the old fence, you know, live material, W thing. But you really need a fence line cleared, okay? And you need to get the old material out before you clear the fence line because it gets caught up in
And that gets,
bulldozer cracks and everything.
that gets back to the point of me having the information, which is why we want to set up the register. If a property needs cleaning, like if there might be trees or whatever, I don't know, that's where the ADF comes in. We give them the task of clearing that first, then it's a clear ground for Blaze Aid to come in.
Just ask another question, just very quickly. If you have crown land roads over the property, if you have crown land roads over the property and trees have fallen over on the crown land roads, are we responsible to report it, or?
Can we just hold that one for a minute? We'll get back to that one.
Thank you. My name's Stuart Burge. I'm a local resident, but I'm also president of the local fire brigade. That's definitely a non-operational thing. It's more of a governance thing. We're very conscious of the fact that firefighters have been spending countless days fighting fires, often at their own cost, their own expense. And so what we've been liaising with Service New South Wales, because as people would be aware, those people who are self-employed, such as farmers, contractors, or whatever else, can actually seek funding from the through Service New South Wales, up to, I think it's the order of $200 a day for something like for 30 days, so up to $6,000. I had sort of hoped that somebody from Service New South Wales was going to be here today, but they're not. But nevertheless, we have been in constant contact with them. The application is very, very straightforward. All you really require is two sources of identification. And what we found yesterday, Monica Alcock was sharing with me, she's the secretary, one of the issues is those sources of identification, the name has to tally. So if you're a married woman, don't rock up with your birth certificate if you're married, just because it won't tally. So you bring a driver's licence, Medicare card, whatever it might be. I'll only share that with you. So what we've decided to do every afternoon now at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, either myself or Monica Alcock will go down to the fire shed. We'll try and liaise with the bushfire fighters who, as you can see today, they're all out fighting fires. They're not here. But most of those people are so dedicated and passionate about fighting fires, what they don't do is they don't put in the paperwork to get remunerated for the work that they're doing. So we're going to make that process easier. So as I said, Monica processed 3 applications online. Some people don't want to do it online. We'll actually fill out the forms with them in the fire shed. So I just thought I'd let you know that that's what we've decided to do. Every afternoon at 5 o'clock, somebody will be there to help firefighters fill out the forms, and that way, I should point out that the first 10 days you don't get paid for, but every other subsequent day you will get. But I know people such as the Terry Myers of the world have probably put in 60 days, who's to know? But the point of that is that we are very conscious of the fact that firefighters have to get paid for the work they're putting in because it's out of pocket, and they all have responsibilities like most of us. The other thing that we also want to pursue further is we're conscious of the fact that that assistance is available to firefighters, but you've only got to go down to the fire shed most days, in fact every day, to see that there are a countless number of people who are working in a support role. They're not fighting fires, but they're also playing a vital role. And I'm very conscious of it, and we're going to pursue the fact that we're hoping that people in a support role will also be able to access that funding or a similar source of funding. So I just share that with you. So if you know firefighters, and they're out or they're at home now, they're being arrested, tell them to rock into the shed in the afternoon, and we'll do everything we can to help them process that application for services.
So does that information is for everybody around in this room, obviously, for the fire shed that's just
yes, yeah.
just here, right? So we've now as people clear on where we can go and what we can do about the water tanks and drinking water. We've dealt with Blaze Aid and the fact that they'll come, I gather, we conclude that they're going to come when we can get here as soon as they can arrive. And we've got Monica and Stuart down here in regard to support for the fire people, the fighters and so on, and the support staff if they can do it. Now there was another question that you raised just a minute ago.
Which is trees on Crown Land roads.
Trees on Crown Road. Who'd like to tackle that one?
Do we contact someone or?
Well, leave it with us. I don't know the answer, but one of the ones we'll find an answer to. The ADF may well be able to help. They've been doing a lot of road opening for us around the traps, clearing roads and stuff. So hopefully they'll extend that to Crown roads.
Okay.
And I've got a note of that as one of the issues.
Used to be a company, just say something.
Yes.
I'll just explain something. Since
Please,
the ADF,
by the way.
since the ADF has started working for in our emergency operations centre, we've been putting in the tasks that we need to be done, the jobs we want done. We put in an application that goes to Sydney, they get allocated a task. That's why we've got a lot of ADF out here. Now that Angela's taken over as the recovery officer, it's a similar process. We need to know what you need done. It doesn't matter how, if you think it's stupid or silly or anything, what you need to do is put something through to Angela of jobs or tasks or things you think need done. Then we can, through the emergency management committee and liaison with Angela, we can put those requests in to have those tasks or any of those jobs done. Without knowing what you want done, we can't get it done. So we've done numerous things over the time from, at the moment, as Peter said, we've got them going, clearing roads and that. So if there's Crown roads that are blocked that we need to get access because of trees and that, let us know. We can get those tasks. We've got the resources to do it. Opening up, there's major roads that have been impacted. We're doing that now using the ADF. Doing the water carting for you, doing everything. There's other resources that have come in from the state government too that are assisting us with the other tasks too. So unless we know what you want done in this recovery phase, the things that you need done to your properties or things you want to see, we can't action on. So if you send them through to Angela and her team, they'll go on action. If they need to come back to the emergency management centre, operations centre, where we can action them as part of that, because the recovery is still part of the incident that's occurring. So it still comes under my control and my emergency management team up there. So and we task them out. So that simplifies the process. And Angela knows if it's something that she can task out from there, she'll do it. If it's something she'll feed back to me, and we'll get it done through what resources we've got at the moment. So bear in mind, we've still got active fires surrounding our whole community. They're a priority, but what we can get done and what we can task to get done to make life easy for everyone, we're also putting them in. We've been very, very lucky that virtually every job we've put in for, I think 98% of them have been tasked out the ADF and they've been getting done at some stage there. So we're lucky. So that's the best way to go about it. That might save some of the questions that you're going to ask to you. You need to know. If you tell us what you want, then we'll try and get it done.
Can I just pick up on that point? That's what I was talking about with we're creating the registers. So when the information comes in, then we'll be able to see what the needs are for road clearing in a particular area, for water in a particular area, and it's making the best use of the ADF resources. That's what they have asked us to do, which is fair enough. So yes, I would encourage you in the short term, contact me, but I most likely, when I set up the register, it will be an alternate email address that's monitored by an assistant that will be working with me.
One, two, no, I'll go 1 and 2.
Just about the cleanup, so if you've registered through cleanup through Service New South Wales, are you corresponding with them as well, or?
Sam, can you help with that?
Yeah, certainly, yeah. So the state government's announced that all cleanup will be covered by the government. So where you do have insurance, just be aware that the cleanup cost of your bushfire impacted premises is covered by the government. Where you register yourself with Service New South Wales, which I highly encourage everyone to do regardless of your situation, you get a case manager, they talk you through it. Where your property has been assessed by a impact assessment team and they found that your property is deemed destroyed or damaged, Public Works Advisory will be organising contractors, local contractors to do the cleanup for you. So what you're best off doing, that is a long process. Public Works Advisory it's gone out to tender and they'll be announcing who the contractor is for each area. We're talking the scale of 2,200 properties across the state, so it will take some time, so just be mindful of that. Once you've registered yourself, Public Works will know who you are and they'll be able to start giving you some updates on time frames. If you do want to update, keep working with Service New South Wales and then you can go that way.
And then if they reject something, then we can go Angela, or?
If Public Works rejects any kind of work or the contractor doesn't do the work, then the escalation process will be best either through Andrea and then we'll be able to hear about it and reassess. Service New South Wales should have a built-in process to reassess the answer, so they are pretty good with that. Yeah.
Telephone service.
Can I just speak on that?
Just ask me questions first.
Yeah, the telephone service in relation to communications.
So if there's something down, let us know. We'll get in contact with the telephone services. That they are at the moment trying to re-establish those lines of dump. Yesterday, coming back from the crash site, there was 5 Telstra vehicles heading up Peakview Road to re-establish same with electricity. I think some electricity. If we can, we're trying to get them in to get those services re-established. It's not a simple process. It's not a quick process because it's all around the state. We're looking at that, so we can get them back in. We don't know about those services, so you need to sort of go to Angela register. She'll pass that on to us, and then we can see what we do. You might be one of a number of people that impacted in that area. They might be able to get some priority and get it done if we know. So it all comes down to letting us know what's going on, what's happening, and then we can action it from there.
Right.
During the 2013 fire match, you know how important it was. You had nothing. No mobile phone, no ABC, no telephone, correct? That hasn't changed. The only communications is in the village for NBN and mobile phone. Now, in the 7 years that I have been trying to work with you people, and we have worked, every one of us, the ABC have a flying in unit. There's one in South in Sydney, there's one in Darwin, and there's one in Melbourne. And they can fly that in and put it on a high location, right? And they can give you the frequencies that you want. In other words, ABC Southeast, who is your emergency broadcaster. Now, if you want to know his name, Andy Penn is the top man of the ABC. And the letter I got from was, no more communications. Now that's the situation that you people have to put, that the ABC cannot be heard here. Even the CEO of Snowy Hydro was on the ABC and he said the only reliable thing was a radio with a battery. Now, I don't know how you feel about that, but I think it's disgraceful. I'm Coombe North, I've got one bar on my mobile. What about these people in Gallagher? Churros. Kybian. No.
I'll concur with Brian on that. Personally, I've been working with Brian several years since Yarrabee, with ABC, and we're just pushing an uphill to get anywhere. We've got a 1950s transmitter in town, which barely gets over Glenferg. It's correct.
And that transmitter can go to 1,000 watts tomorrow.
One at a time, please.
It's a drop of, you know what I mean?
That transmitter can go to 1,000 watts tomorrow. I got it through you people from 50 to 400. The one in Polo Flat, 1602, who can go to 800, sorry. I have been in touch with Broadcast Australia. They are supportive. I've been in touch with the ABC, right? And the ACM say no. If it goes to 800 watts, it will interfere with the channel in Hall, in Canberra, and Gigabyte. I'm sorry, where's the priority?
So we can move on from this. I'll take that up when I get back.
Please do.
One at a time.
Please do.
I'll take it up with ABC and talk to Emergency Management New South Wales. ABC is our emergency broadcaster. There's issues there. I'll try and get it fixed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so
We've also, before you start, Sam, we have some special guests here. So, can we interrupt to their frequently?
Sorry, I am terribly sorry to take the complete seriousness. Sorry, I know everyone's very emotionally invested today. Just to give you a bit of reprieve from all of this, we've had some very welcome visitors from the Australian women's cricket team. Three of them here, the captain, Elise Perry, and Sophie as well. So we're here to welcome them. They're here fairly informally, shake hands, say good day. And if any of you want to take the opportunity to say hello, please do. They're super keen to say hello and to meet the communities that have been affected by this community. So take the opportunity, please. We don't want to interrupt too much of your meeting. We understand that there's some really important information that needs to be shared. So if you've got 5 minutes or of your time, so please come out and say hello, and when you're finished, they'd love to meet you.
Would you like us to finish the subject and then make them and come back again?
Yes, I think we should. So while we're on the subject of mobile phone coverage, I think it's been the festering sore in this community ever since the Yarrabee fire in 2013. It is absolutely shameful that one of the byproducts or one of the recommendations from this community after the Yarrabee fire was the need for much better mobile phone reception. We identified, and I wasn't privy to it, but certainly, Brian and a number of people here who are far more adept at that. But that was a key recommendation. It is shameful that rather than put it at the best location, whether that be on Mount Numeralla or up on top of the Hangman, sites were identified which had coverage to the coast, out to Lake Yukonbean. Where did they place it? On a pokey little hill on the edge of Numeralla. And I think, Peter and the council, if we do nothing, this is not the appropriate time or place, but once we sit down and do an analysis of this fire, what worked, what didn't work, surely the council will be proactive in saying we need better mobile phone coverage purely for safety reasons, for no other reason. If somebody dies because of lack of mobile phone coverage, somebody has to be held responsible, and I believe the state and federal government, dare I say state government, also has a vital role in addressing this.
We have someone on the corner here who is taking the matter up. We have someone here, and Sam over here.
Yeah, I can say in a few words. Yeah, it's recognise it's probably one of the single most important assets or utilities that you need during an event, and obviously all year round anyway. Even when you go back home, you want to be able to jump on the service with the controls to register, and we recognise that's a massive limitation if you don't have that utility. What we are doing, and I'm glad it's been raised here, I would probably speak with Brian or a representative after this meeting, just come and chat with me. I'll need some details, address, phone numbers, that sort of thing, and I can raise it with the Telecommunications Authority. So that's a group that oversees all the agencies that provide services, Telstra, Optus, etc.
and we can raise a formal ticket to recognise this area as a black spot already. And because it is great.
Literally now as well.
Literally now, yeah.
The problem is, after the Yarrabin fire, Numeralla was identified as a black spot. So they put the tower here. If they'd said Numeralla and district, or including counting the peak view, then we would have got it at a better location. But the contractors sadly said, "Oh, Numeralla." So please.
Yeah, I can raise it. I need Brian or a representative, and I'll be back to council.
We've raised it, you've raised it with the council, it will not go away. I've got someone to write it down, he's probably a bit like a tiger, it'll probably get their teeth and it won't let go. I'm going to adjourn the meeting for a minute for those who wish to see, meet our three guests, special guests here, for a few minutes.